So when you see a lot of successful people and you see a lot of people who have built wealth, all people see is the good side. They never see the bad side. They never tend to see the hard work, the amount of effort that these people have put in, right? And I always get a lot of these questions that, hey, you've done such amazing stuff and you have a big brand that you're working through and you have so many people working and you have a big portfolio. I started investing when I was 21. Wow. I was doing 3 jobs when I first started investing. Exactly. I nearly went broke in 2014 trying to manage a property portfolio. So like none of this has come in easy, right? In order for you to get to where you want to get to, you need to go through the hard yards. Co-living properties can generate almost $140,000 in passive income and net of $40,000 in passive income after mortgage repayments, and they sit in an average yield of about 10%. Hello and welcome to another episode of Help Me Buy Property Podcast. Today's podcast episode is a powerful story. It's a story that brought a lot of tears when it was told the first time. It's a story that has become a mantra for a lot of single women. A story combined with creating side hustles, a journey of financial independence. It's a story of wealth creation. Let's put our hand together to bring in Varsha Banker from Real Estate for Women. Hello, Varsha. How are you today?
Hi, Moss. Great to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming out today.
Thank you.
Your story when we first heard for the first time in Real Estate for Women in Melbourne, that was a really, really powerful story. And so what we want to do today is basically take a step back and talk a bit about what your story is, what made you focus on wealth creation, and basically go from there. So who is Varsha Banker?
Okay, so I'm Varsha and I like to call myself as someone who is always interested in learning, growing, and making a difference. I am full-time in IT. I'm a project manager, and on the side, I've got few side hustles actually. I wear multiple hats. And for last few years, I think 7 years, I've been a DJ. I have my own events company and I've been doing a lot of events, bringing artists from overseas, doing their tours.
Wow.
So that has been my side hustle. And just recently, I developed passion for real estate.
Okay.
And I ventured into real estate and now I'm working. I'm sitting with the CEO of the company.
We'll go there. We're not going to go there yet. But let's take a step back and talk a bit about your journey on wealth creation, right? So from a person who is doing an IT work and you've been doing IT work for quite some time to focus on wealth creation, like how did that happen? Like what was the driver? You already had a side hustle. What was the driver for the wealth creation?
Sure. So I have a bit of personal story there. I went through a difficult separation and divorce last year that just drained me emotionally and financially. I lost a lot of my money.
Sure. So the wealth creation journey was basically a personal motive of, hey, I've made this loss and I want to basically recoup this loss. So there was no intention of creating wealth before that?
Yes, it's not just that I wanted to recover loss. Obviously, I wanted to create long-term wealth.
Sure.
I'm a single mom, and
Yeah.
I wanted to set up my future and build generational wealth for myself and for my son.
Sure.
And real estate is a powerful medium for everyone.
Sure.
So that was my main motive. I wanted to generate wealth and also to enhance my lifestyle. Like,
Sure.
I'm someone who loves to keep up my lifestyle. I love staying at 5-star, 7-star hotels.
Those Gucci bags, the Louis Vuitton shoes, is that what you're referring to? Or the Jimmy Choos?
Yeah, basically. So I work hard, but I want to keep my lifestyle. I don't want to compromise, and I wanted to generate wealth so I could keep growing and learning as well.
And so what did you try that didn't work? Let's start there, because everyone tries something first in order to get to where they want to get to. So let's start there. What did you try in life? Because DJing was something that was a passion, but it was also a side hustle. You were not doing it for the sake of a hobby, right? You were making money out of it, right?
Yeah.
So what else did you try? What were the things that you tried that didn't really work?
In real estate, I would say things that didn't work for me were because I was trying to do everything myself. It was quite overwhelming because I didn't have the knowledge.
Sure.
What to do, how to generate wealth, how to go for properties, right? So I was trying to do by myself. That was extremely bad decision, and I was trying to save money as well because I didn't want to spend money, and I wanted to build wealth, which is impossible. So I think those things didn't work well, and I lacked the knowledge. I didn't know how to do the due diligence, etc. So I think it's important to have the solid team, someone you could trust on, a property mentor, etc.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so how did that person who has gone through so much, who have shown so much resilience, gone through so much in their life, I call them adversity in life, single mom, who has a lot of things that haven't worked, has a full-time job, goes from there to transforming to your a healthy property investment journey? And so what changed and what worked for you?
So as I said, this year I was determined to generate wealth, and I was looking all of the investment companies, buyers agents. I was just scrolling. I was on social media trying to hunt down who is the best in the market.
Sure.
And
Were
that's
we on
when
the top? Were we on the top?
That's where I actually stumbled. Well, on you.
Sure.
I watched all your podcasts, all the videos. I went all in, and I obviously compared Investor Partner Group with a lot of other companies. I spoke to many people there, and I just found that
who were the other companies? And there is no shame in naming them because they are the competitions. They must be doing something good, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't name. Sorry. They're also my friends, and I think it was my personal decision.
Sure.
That I saw credibility in your company. I saw all the reviews of your clients, and mostly I actually got stuck when I saw your ad video.
Sure.
It was something about how do you build a 17 million or 20 million portfolio?
16 million at that time.
To be precise, 16 million, right? Yes. And I was like, okay, if you could do, I could do it as well. Sorry, kidding. So that actually inspired me.
Sure.
That I should be doing something, and that gave me so much knowledge about. I came across a lot of people, buyers agents, who were trying to sell me home and land packages.
Yeah.
Don't get yourself taken on a ride by property spookers, so-called property investment advisors, or buyers agents who are selling house and land packages or off-the-plan properties or apartments. Get yourself a copy of this book called The Millennial's Guide to Property Investing. This book is not just for millennials. The title suggests, but it's actually the most advanced way of investing in property. This book will relate to your clients, your colleagues, and other business owners. There are so many property spookers out there who have come out of the woodwork over the last 3 to 5 years, and there is so much misinformation out there that I had to write a book about all the F-ups that people can actually avoid in order to be super successful in the property investment journey. Some of these are really easy to identify, but they are so costly to fix once these mistakes are made. So it's a short book, it's easy to read, it has a lot of stories, it has a lot of examples, and it is a true guide for people who wants to do it themselves. My name is Moxin Reza. This is my story. And a lot of you will relate to parts of this story if you're not born in the riches and if you're trying to build a property portfolio that can last generations and help you improve your lifestyle along the way. So I give you a chance to come out there and have a read. Be kind, stay safe, keep smiling, keep investing, and please do check out the book.
And did you buy one?
Before I met you, I actually did a mistake.
And there is nothing wrong with making mistakes in real estate, right? I think one thing that I always tend to say out loud is I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't made those mistakes, right? It's about identifying those mistakes and being proud of them, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Those are the war marks, right? That you carry with proud that, hey, I've seen this, I've done this, I know this doesn't work and this works, right? So there's nothing to be ashamed about some of the mistakes that you've made. So yeah,
I agree. And luckily I didn't make it worse. I actually bought something like a lifestyle product close to water.
Amazing.
So I'm happy with that. But after I started watching you, I read your book and I realized the real value is in the land. Right, it's not buying your apartments or those stuff.
So how have you transformed your property investment journey? Let's talk a bit about that. What have you done so far?
Well, just to give you some context to everyone, I wanted to learn about real estate. I just did not want to buy properties. I wanted to first get some knowledge. And I wanted to also work in the industry because that's the real game changer. You don't get good deals if you're outside the industry.
Yeah.
So I was looking to get a side hustle in real estate. And I actually did a buyer's agent course from Australian Property Academy, which is developed by yourself. And that course actually taught me how to do all the due diligence, how to research and pick up the best suburb. And doesn't end just at the suburb, right? There are so many red flags with the houses, etc.
100%.
So all those hundreds of parameters, different tools, like I didn't even hear a lot of the tools that I learned after doing that course, that how you could validate all the data.
Yeah.
There are hundreds of tools, but you had the best tools, I must say. So that actually gave me so much knowledge, and I could research and buy properties myself. And I actually bought 4 properties in 4 months this year.
And how have they performed so far? 4 properties?
And all the 4 properties, because I owe it a lot to you as well, Moss, because I had the solid foundation and strategy from yourself. It's not just about buying a property. You need to have exit strategy. Those houses have development potential as well, right? So all my houses, they had development potential houses where I could manufacture equity. I bought a house which was a rundown house. I bought it for 360 and I renovated for 30K, and it is valued at 600K right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
and it's
just
interesting.
lucky.
A lot of people don't realize the value that some of these small scale renovations can basically do, right? When I share this out loud, that some of these strategies that we've applied for our own clients as well, and including myself, I put myself in my client's shoes as well, that I'm a client to IPG myself, right? Where you buy properties at 400, 450, you don't need to spend $100,000 or $200,000, right? You need to spend the bare minimum to make sure that it's in a rentable condition to get the maximum amount of equity coming out of it. Those are some realistically common, simple strategies for a lot of first-time investors to follow. Like, you don't need to have $1 million to start off your property investment journey, right? So that's what it comes down to.
Can I ask, Moss, tell me one mistake you have done in your investment journey.
I think one of the biggest mistakes that I have done in my journey was especially around 2014, where I was so focused on doing a development that I stopped acquiring properties and I was focused on finishing off the development. And I feel that that was one of my biggest mistakes, because if I didn't do that, my portfolio would probably be twice the size as to what I am today. Now, again, all of this is relative, right? I still, touch wood, I still have a decent enough, big enough property portfolio. But I knew a lot when you talk about 2014, 15, about how to build a scalable property portfolio. And I was already going in that direction. But I stopped for 1.5 years in order to do this particular development. This was in Reservoir. And I still made money. There was nothing wrong with that development.
You do make a lot of money in development projects, right?
And so I still did. Like I bought that property for 685. I sold the front and built 2 units at the back and still cleared close to about $600,000. But out of that single development. But my idea or the thinking behind that is, and hindsight is a beautiful thing, that I had access to almost $800,000 in equity then. And so I could have bought maybe 6 development properties at that time to do, rather than doing 1 reservoir, I could have done 6 reservoir properties without triggering the bank at all, right? One of the things that was a learning for me at that time, and again, I think I take every opportunity as a learning opportunity for myself. One of the things that I learned in 2014-15 was that banks do not require serviceability when you talk about property developments. They don't care about servicing.
True.
And I only tend to find out once I was at the tail end of the property development journey, because that's when you need the construction finance. And for people who know this, 2015, 16 was almost 17 was the boom of the market. And so I was riding the wave at that time, and there was a lot of boom coming through. And so I felt that 1.5 year, while I had the access to equity, I should have basically gone in and double dipped and bought more, rather than just focusing all my effort on property development. But again, made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, everyone does.
So there's nothing wrong with that. So why real estate and side hustles? I know it's easy, and that's what you've said, but why predominantly real estate? You already had a side hustle in events and DJing that you mentioned. So why real estate? Why is it because it's more money?
Of course, as I said, real estate is a powerful tool to build wealth, right? The compounding effect is just amazing. You're making your money work for yourself. And I just wanted to generate wealth, long-term wealth, and real estate became my passion as well. Like working in your company, it just became my passion, and it also offered me flexibility. Like I'm in IT, I work from home, and while working in the company, I was not a seller's agent, right? That I had to go out and do open homes and show people. I was sitting in my workroom and I was making Zoom calls. That offered me flexibility, and it's so fulfilling, Moss, like talking to people and you're making so much difference in their lives.
And it is a lot easier. You're right in saying that real estate is a game of finances and cash flow. And so once you understand how to structure the finances, once you understand how the due diligence works and what type of property works, you can create sustainable and scalable property portfolios quite quickly. And there is a lot of fulfillment that comes out of this, right? I get a lot of fulfillment seeing other people succeed, right? And I don't get an animosity from them when I see other people's properties growing, because I'm following the same passion and the same path as well, right? So
you are completely another level, Moss. Like, I don't know how you survive. You love to empower people. You're so passionate to empower people, help them. And you're a workaholic. Do you even sleep? Do you even sleep?
That's a very good question.
This work is so fulfilling for you. And I don't know how you do it. What's the secret?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think I do very good time management. That's what I do. I love my calendars. I love my Trellos. My team would definitely tell you that I manage my time really, really well. How did you go around creating the side hustle for yourself? I know that you talked about working for IPG or working in our business, but let's take this as an opportunity. If IPG wasn't there, or if IPG didn't happen, what would have Varsha done in that circumstance? Because you were dedicated and devoted towards building a career out of real estate, your side hustle.
Absolutely. And as I said, like, I'm someone who will always find my path and ways to reach my goals. And so how I started my side hustle was because I wanted to work in the real estate industry, and I stumbled upon your company, and I made up my mind that I definitely want to work and learn from the best. I didn't want to open my own shop. I wanted to work under a credible company, prestigious company, so I don't have to do all the hard work.
Yeah.
And it gives me opportunity to learn as well.
Sure.
And I thought I will do this course, get all the knowledge, and I applied for a role in your company, which was for a property acquisition specialist.
Yeah.
And luckily, I was selected thanks to you, and I started working on the side, managing my IT hours, and here, because there's flexibility, and I could work after hours, after my IT job, and on the weekends as well. So that's how I started doing side hustle in real estate at IPG. But on the side, I did work for a custom home builder as well in the past. It was a short stint, and I obviously was selling something which I don't associate right now because my goals and values are not aligned there.
Sure. And so, I mean, that is a lot of hard work, right? You know, a lot of people, when they talk about side hustle, naturally they tend to think about easy money, right? Don't do a lot of work and make a ton of money, right? Basically, that's where then the hit space goes. So that's a lot of work. You're doing a full-time job. You're working almost at full-time hours at another buyer's agency or a property investment firm. And so that's a lot of commitment. That's not when you say the definition of flexibility, that's not the definition of flexibility, right? So how do you basically get to comforting yourself that, hey, I'm doing extra work or more work in order to get a sustainable lifestyle? Because this is not sustainable, right?
It is not now, but eventually it will be, right? Right now I'm trying to set up my foundation so I could transition.
Yeah.
So I have to work hard, yes, but as you say, right, you don't have to whinge if you love your work.
Yeah.
So
yes, that's true.
no complaints, no whinges, right? Just love your work.
Yeah.
So I actually enjoy working in real estate. So it's not, for me, it's not a work as I work in IT. I actually enjoy. So after IT job, I enjoy working in real estate. I love to talk to people, love to hear their challenges, and love to help them.
Yeah.
So I am working hard, but eventually I will achieve my goals and I will be full-time in real estate.
And there is nothing wrong in working hard. That there is nothing wrong in people working hard to achieve their goals. Because, of course, when you think about early retirement or financial independence, no one is going to hand that to you in a silver plate, right? You are going to work your off to basically get to that, right? And so when you see a lot of successful people, and you see a lot of people who have built wealth or have done really, really well, all people see is the good side. They never see the bad side. They never tend to see the hard work, the amount of effort that these people have put in, right? And I always get a lot of these questions that, hey, you've done such amazing stuff and you have a build big brand that you're working through and you have so many people working and you have a big portfolio. I started investing when I was 21. Wow. I was doing 3 jobs when I first started investing.
Exactly.
I nearly went broke in 2014 trying to manage a property portfolio. So like none of this has come in easy, right? In order for you to get to where you want to get to, you need to go through the hard yards, the rough road.
And it's all about prioritization as well.
Yeah. When did real estate for women came into existence? What was the mentality and the thinking behind that? And how did that baby was born?
So real estate for women, it came into existence. And again, Moss, it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you.
Nothing to do with me.
You are a person to execute it. And yes, so based on my experience, right, my journey of going through divorce and building my own investment portfolio, I had this idea that if I can do it, and I wanted to help other women, and the ingredients are you need to have the knowledge, you need to have your team, you need to have a mentor. And I thought if I'm working with a top investment company, they are like one-stop shop for everything. We are into property developments, we are into tax, SMSF, business structure advisory, we are into positive cash flow real estate. So I thought this is perfect space for women to come in and build a solid foundation and scale their portfolio. And I wanted to empower women and give them the knowledge, tools, and make them take action.
Yeah. And so what are the goals in relation to Real Estate for Women or RAW? What are you trying to achieve there? What are you trying to get to with this initiative of yours?
So Real Estate for Women, as I said, see this as a space for women to come in, women who are struggling with, they have financial barriers, they lack the knowledge, they are stuck, they don't know how to get started. Being a single woman, I have realized it's so challenging for women to start their investment journey. I want to bridge the wealth gap as well. Like women, they are sitting at 26%, as compared to 70% ownership of properties by men or couples. There's a staggering pay gap in real estate, and I'm on the mission to bridge this gap. I want more women to take control of their financial future and just change the landscape. So that's my mission, to empower women. And by empowerment, it's just not taking an action and buying one property. By empowerment, it means having a strategy, a plan, a foundation. So we want to give that solid foundation for women to go on the right path and have a sustainable portfolio without compromising lifestyle. Secondly, education. We have all the tools, resources to educate. We have recently done a course, Real Estate for Beginners. We'll be doing a lot of webinars, and we are hosting a lot of events as well. So this platform will educate women. They will be equipped with knowledge, tools, how to do the investments, and also how to work in the industry as well.
Sure.
And lastly, engagement. As a woman, you have to be surrounded by like-minded women who will cheer you up, who will celebrate your success, and you will learn and inspire each other. So RAW is all about empowerment, education, and engagement.
Amazing. And what have you achieved so far? What has Real Estate for Women or RAW done so far in bringing the community together or creating side hustles?
Sure. So we just started in April, and we did our first event in Sydney. And we have got over 100 women attended that event. And I was amazed with the response I got. First event. And I was intrigued. There were so many women in the room, and they had interest in properties, real estate. They were asking all interesting questions. We had a panel discussion where we had mortgage broker, we had advisor, property mentor, and it was so engaging and conversational. There were a lot of insights and values given.
Yeah.
And out of that event, we had a lot of women who were actually looking to take action same day. And few of them already started investments, and they are building a portfolio.
Amazing.
Where they had no clue. They didn't know how to start. They have no concept if that they can buy and they can start with such a low deposit as well.
Amazing.
And they can scale. And few women, they started working. Like I can give an example of Ashita, right? She was in corporate. She left her job, and she had absolutely no knowledge of real estate, and she started working, and she's thriving now. She's building a great team and thriving and making opportunities for herself. So I'm so proud of her. And
Amazing.
We have got similar examples where women have no knowledge of real estate. They have done the courses, acquired the knowledge and tools, and they are working in the industry and empowering themselves.
Amazing. And what are your goals or the futuristic goals with RAW in a more tangible sense? What are you trying to see where RAW is going to go? Are you going to do more events? Are you going to go more webinars? Is it in person? Where are you taking RAW going forward?
Of course, very ambitious goals. And obviously, you have set high standards for the team. So we have to live with those standards. So we want to do a lot more events, considering the success we have had this year at Sydney and Melbourne as well. Those are just in-person events because of a lot more value and powerful medium for people to come together. But apart from those events, we will also be hosting online webinars where we will be inviting industry experts. We'll be giving financial literacy, tax, SMSF, where I think it's a lot of more demand in women. After the events, we took a lot of feedback from all of them. So we have compiled the list, and we know these are the topics we have to cover in the webinar. So we'll be hosting events, we'll be doing webinars, and I'm going to launch my podcast as well. Very excited to launch that podcast, because that will be really good medium for audience to get insights from industry experts. We'll be bringing a lot of success stories to inspire them, and a lot of knowledge and value. So keep an eye on.
Amazing. And where can people find you, Varsha, and Real Estate for Women?
We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on LinkedIn, Real Estate for Women, and we have our website as well.
Any golden words, anything that you would say to 22-year-old Varsha, now that you've learned so much and you've gone through the adversity and the resilience? What would you say to your young self?
To my young self, I think knowledge is the key. You really need to empower yourself with knowledge. And there is no perfect time. You will keep waiting forever if you just wait for that perfect time. So it's important to start small. Even at that age, you will not have that much deposit, right?
Yeah.
But try to start, take an action, don't wait forever. And once you start, you will realize, you will look back 10 years and you will say, wow, like the real estate and the compounding effect. So my advice for young people are to save, balance your lifestyle, but obviously make sure you are preparing yourself for your future. Prioritize what you want in life, your goals, have a great team, and build wealth. We could retire early. You don't have to work till you're 40 or 50, right? You can retire at 30.
Yeah. And those are golden words. Look, I completely resonate some of that thinking, that investing early and investing smartly is the key to success. Also knowing that everything would be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end, right? You can still go and deliver what you want to deliver. And so we tend to see so many stories every day where people in their 50s are still hustling and still getting to that financial independent goals. And that's where I get a lot of energy from, right? That when you see the 20-year-old and the 50 years old and the 60 years old basically coming out there trying to still create a better lifestyle for themselves, that is where I say to myself, or I say to other people, that you should not have an excuse when you see that person doing that hustle at that age, right? So ultimately it comes down to that you choose to define your own destiny. No one is going to basically define that for you. What does future success looks like for you? And there is nothing wrong in chasing wealth to create a better lifestyle for yourself. Forget the taboo. People would always talk. People would always argue. And ultimately, you are going to define what success looks like for you. Okay. Thank you for coming to the show today, Varsha. This was great. This was awesome. And for people who are listening to us, if you have any stories in relation to side hustles, or if there is anything that you think that there are other side hustles that can be created or that you are part of, please share it in the comments below. If you want to reach out to Varsha, definitely reach out to Real Estate for Women. Thank you for listening to us today. Keep smiling, keep investing, take care, stay safe. This is Moss and Varsha checking out. Adios.